What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, haven't put a video up on this plane in about 3 days because these gear doors have just been giving me a whole shitload of problems, you guys. And I don't know, man. I was so ready to just be like, screw this, I'm done with it. So basically what it boils down to is we finally got them all working. Now, they tell you in the directions to put the gear doors in door 1 and 4. However, this is wrong, okay? I fought with this thing for 3 days before I finally started switching these damn things around. I went inside the programmer. I tried programming it every which way. So finally, I started switching the plugs around. And what it boils down to is you got to have it in the gear doors in door 1 and door 2. And that's how I finally got this son of a gun to work. As you can see, the gear are down. The doors are supposed to be all the way up. The reason they're not is because I don't have the right size arms on my servos. Really simple fix. I'm going to go to the hobby center tomorrow, or this morning actually. I pulled another all-nighter on this and I finally got it working, you guys. I'm just like, I'm just happy that I got it working. I had to cut out way more material than I actually wanted to cut out. It looks awful, so I'm going to get some balsa wood and fill that back in where the control... There is no specific or marked out measurements on the plane. It actually doesn't even really give you a good measurement mark in the book. It does for cutting out the inside of the well for the arm to come down. But even that's really not all that great. So I just had to wing it. And like I said, I ended up cutting out more material than I wanted to. Kind of pissed me off a little bit. I got shit flaking up and breaking all over the place here because of this. Now, mind you, that's all going to be covered up. This whole piece right here, this whole center part will be covered up when the fuselage goes on. So it's not really that big of a deal. But it is a big deal to me because that's just way too much material to be cutting out. It does say in the book, cut out plenty of material so that you don't have any snags and the control arms hang down through the wheel wells and stuff like that. The problem is those control arms are, I think, an inch and a quarter. And I need 2-inch long control arms. So I have to go get some Hangar 9 control arms, 2-inch control arms. From the local hobby store. I seen them hanging on the wall back there at the hobby center, so I'm just gonna go to my local hobby center and pick those up. I have a small prop that I have to take back anyways. Oh, and that's the other thing, guys. We got the prop on it. That is a Zor prop. That is just a temporary one for now. I actually have a carbon fiber Zor prop coming, and that is a 23.8, and I believe this plane calls for a 23.10, or this engine. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to double check in the paperwork. But so we got the tail wheel hooked up. That's done. What else did we do? Oh, we got the rudder hooked up with the cables, the pull cables. I haven't done the pull. I do have the pull cables connected on the back wheel, but I don't have them connected up here yet. And that's because I wasn't sure if I was going to change that out to a nice like anodized metal piece, that longer piece there that's holding them. But for now, I got it set up there. I got metal sleeves put in there. Those metal things are actually used to space. You use those as spacers for your servos. But I took them and I drilled out the holes on that thing and I plugged those in and glued them in. So now there's a nice metal sleeve inside of there. So I mean, it's pretty decent actually. It actually works really, really well. The tail is a little off to the left, just a little bit, so I'll have to trim that out. I also have the these are tight. I can tighten those. As a matter of fact, I got those on there. Those are to be so they can be tightened. But I just wanted to cycle through this gear real quick, just so you guys can see. Now remember, as soon as I put the larger control arms on, these will close all the way. But for right now, here we go. Yeah, just that extra inch that I need. That's all it is to get those to suck up in there. If I start adjusting them too much, basically I won't leave myself enough room for the wheels to actually open and come out. Where those are coming out right now, boom, that's where they're supposed to be. But as far as closing, yeah, they're supposed to close a little further than that. And basically, like I said, that's just because the control arms are too small. That's all there is to it. I found the longest ones I possibly freaking could too. They're the longest ones I have, and they're just still not long enough. But we'll run it up one more time. That way you guys can see it, and then I'll show you guys the tail wheel retracting back here. Almost there, guys. Almost there. And this isn't shutting all the way, and that's just because I have to adjust it a little bit. But here's the tail wheel. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. And that's it, guys. That's as far as I've gotten for right now. I'm going to go ahead and unplug this battery out of here. That way we don't accidentally cycle them while it's sitting. But, yeah, guys, so a little bit of adjustment. And slightly longer control arms. And those will be right up where they need to be, right in place where they need to be. We're getting close, you guys. We're getting really, really close. The next thing that I'm doing is I am going to run all my wires up through and get them up through the center of the plane. My flap servos, get those put up. These actually, if you look, that's going to hit right there. And that is not a full flap to me. Not that I'll ever use full flap, but that is just not a full flap to me. So these will be getting trimmed down a little bit, and then I'll be putting another hole in. That way we can get some more deflection on the flaps. Not that I'll use the flaps that aggressive, but you never know. If you need them, you need them. So yeah, guys, slowly but surely, we're almost there, you guys. We're almost there. That just, honestly, man, if I even had just like 1 3/4 instead of the 1 1/4, I bet you I could get those to close. And they do need to be adjusted just a tad bit, because one is actually sticking out a little further than the other. This one's sticking out further than this one. But we're super close, you guys. I got the program right. The program is perfect. It's just a matter of getting these linkages, these servo arms extended out a little bit. That way we can get this thing, these doors to close up. What else? The prop. I actually have to take this prop and mark it out. And right here, there's 4 holes right here. I have to get this thing drilled out. So I'm going to be taking this and marking it out and taking it over to my friend's drill press, and we will be pressing those out. What else do I got for you guys? That's it. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be putting the new retrack. I got the FMS retrack, the one that I messed up during that crash. So I got a new retrack that's going in the FMS P-47, and you know, that FMS P-47, the day it was going nuts on me and shutting off and on, turning off and on, had a bad receiver in it, come to find out. if that retract hadn't have been messed up, the plane, it would have landed just fine. It would have landed right on both the mains, and she would have flattened right down and gone right down to the tail. But we'll be fixing that today. I got 3 more servos, guys, and they should be here either today or tomorrow. So I got the 2 servos, the low profile ones for the elevators. This is we got a low profile servo that has to go in there. So that'll be, I got 2 of those coming, and then I've got a big monster high tech that I'm putting on there for my my throttle servo. So yeah, guys, almost there, almost there. We'll be buttoning things down on this week, and we will be cutting the cowl, putting the we'll be putting the mufflers on the engine, Loctiting them on and then we will be cutting this cowl. I'm sure there's going to have to be a hole there and a hole there and a hole there and 4 holes. It's going to have to be 2 holes for the side of the engine to come through, and then there's going to be a hole right down here and right down there, and then I'm going to put a little hole in the middle because where the carburetor's right there, I'll be sticking a little hole about right here just so some air can get into that carburetor, so we don't have any stupid stuff happening. But there's got the edges that need to be cut out a little bit, and then where the mufflers come up through, I might have to add some extension hoses onto these mufflers so they poke through. I'm not sure yet. If so, no big deal. Not a big deal at all. But yeah, guys, the next step is to get those arms, get this thing, get the servos ran through, get the flap servos ran through. The control arms are already sitting over there and they're all put together. But I'm not going to worry about putting them on until I actually get the holes drilled for the servos to go in. And that's it, guys. The 2 halves, these 2 halves right here, this one and this one right here, will be getting put together sometime this week after I get the last of the servos. As soon as I get the tail put on, then I'll feel comfortable. And I got to get that tank mounted in there, right? And like I said, I got to pull the tank apart because I think that my clunk line is a little too long. I don't need it that long. It doesn't need to be that long. It's curling in the tank. It's hitting the back of the tank and curling forward, and that's not good. You want it just long enough to reach the back corners of the tank. So I got to trim that down about 4 or 5 inches, and then I'll strap the tank in. I got my other battery, so it's just 3 servos strapping the tank in. The ignition system right here, this is actually going to be mounted inside of here where the batteries would normally go, and my batteries are actually going to get mounted back there somewhere. But that's it, you guys. That's all I got for you right now. As soon as we get the 2 halves put together and we're actually going to be binding, I actually have the receiver bound to the radio already. It's just a matter of plugging everything in and getting her fired up. And oh, I need two switches. I got my fuel dot over here as well, you guys. So here's my Hangar 9 fuel dot. This is going to go, on the side of the plane somewhere here or there. I'm not sure yet. I already have the tank already plumbed up and done, so it's just a matter of drilling the hole and putting the fuel dot in. So we're close, you guys. We're close. Thank you to everybody that's been following this build. It has been very stressful. I appreciate everybody that's been giving me some tips and some hints along the way. You've really helped me out. We really appreciate that a ton. Some of these things I would have really lost my mind on, and you guys have really helped me out to keep my cool and keep my patience and encourage me to keep on going. But that's it for now, guys. I'm Dave. This is Dave's RC. Peace.